Hi friends, Mindy here. I want to share with you about how my 100-day project is going. I did post a video a while back. I'll try to link that down in the description below about my plans for the 100-day project. This actually started for most people in the middle of February, but I was out of town when the 100-day project started. So I decided to start mine on March 1st. And the first week I created a bunch of just kind of substrates and different things. I posted a reel just of everything that I got done in the first week. And so that's over on Instagram. But my intentions for the 100-day project were to spend 15 minutes a day and to use my scraps. And so I just started creating like substrates and different things that I could add to my journals later on. And my intentions originally were that I was going to work for the first half of the month, or for the first half of the 100 days. And then toward the end, I was going to start decorating. Well, I got to 30 days, and as you can see, I have a ton of stuff, and so I'm going to be pivoting a little bit. I have decided that I have basically 31 days, the first month of March. Basically I was creating substrates, and that went really fast because it was just a kind of mindless, you're just kind of gluing everything down. But now I want to get these kind of taken to the next level where they can really be incorporated in journals and things, and that is going to take a little bit more time, especially because I'm sticking within that 15-minute parameter. And so I am going to just now start decorating. And so let me know in the comments below if you would like to see maybe some videos along the way, some process videos about how I'm going to use all these things. I'm going to do a little quick flip through and kind of show you what all I have created in the first month. So the first week, these are kind of all out of order now. But again, just keep in mind, everything is literally, it was 15 minutes a day. I set a timer and that was it. So I just created, I have some journaling cards started. And then, if I didn't get finished for the day, it was left like it is. And I will come back in my next session of 15 minutes and start working on these. But these were all of the items just that I created in the first week, and I tried to kind of keep things to like neutral color schemes, or things that would kind of work together. I took maybe a couple of minutes at the beginning and kind of pulled out, I went through my scrap box and just kind of pulled out things that I really felt were just kind of speaking to me for that day. And then I spent 15 minutes just creating with them. So again, these are all like journaling cards, or they may end up as pockets, or I may cut them down and make them into tags. Some of them are just almost like creating little mini collage master boards almost, because I've just done a lot of collaging on different things. And again, just trying to use up my stash. So this was all of the first week, and it's really kind of shocking what you can do in 15 minutes a day. So I know people kind of sometimes feel like they don't have time for art, or they don't have time to do things, but you would really, like, this one didn't actually get finished, so I'll have to come back and do that. But you'd be surprised what you can do in 15 minutes a day, even if it's just something like this. I really tried to have the mindset this time in the 100-day project that I don't have to have 100 little projects finished. I can spend 100 days working on an overall project, and mine is going to be basically to really just have a bunch of things ready that I can add to my journals. So day 8, I did something just a little bit different, and I did some sewing on, this is actually like the just some packaging, and these are like the shipping paper that you can get that's like adhesive on the back. I split it down the middle, and then I just kind of collaged, and then I did some stitching, and basically I was making a big snippet roll. And this one I just kind of cut down, and then this one I actually just left as a snippet roll. And then as you're working, you can kind of just clip off sections if you want. And so I will do that. So that was kind of day 8. I'm going to try to go through here quickly just because there's so much of this. Day 9, again, this day had just had a little bit less. I was a little bit less inspired, but I kind of used some drop papers and all kinds of things. Probably will cut these down into tags. Day 10, a lot of I was using the packaging from my By the Well for God devotional kits. and I will put some coffee dyed paper, and then I have like journaling cards and different things that I can use. So some of these, they need a backer. If they're going to be a pocket, I didn't bother to back them. And then I will just go in and add a focal point and then just have things kind of at the ready. So a few of these days I was a little bit more intentional with what I was creating, but some of these you can see, these are just kind of all, and they're, these I backed with some, this is actually Archer and Olive dot grid paper, and then these don't even have a back on them. So if I make them a pocket, like this one I could see being a pocket because I really loved this piece, and so I won't need to put anything on the back of it because I'm just going to glue it down into a journal. But that one will probably be some cards or something like that. Day 14, I had a few just almost like master boards, just kind of mini versions of them here. And then so I didn't have quite as many on that day, and as on day 13 as well, but I really love how this one turned out. I think that would make a beautiful kind of pocket. But I had these bigger pieces that I did, and so these just took a little bit longer to collage, and so I didn't have a ton of those. And I'm not going to worry about keeping all of these in order. I'm actually going to go through and kind of sort them out by what I think they're going to be, because I think that'll be a little bit easier to work through that way. Day 12, I was just kind of pulling some random things. This is actually a piece of watercolor or mixed media paper. This one was an index card, I think, yeah. And I added some tissue over the top, and then another one that's really just going to get cut down because it was really more of a master board. And then I got to about halfway, so day 15, this one was just a struggle day for me. I actually only got these 2 pieces done on this day, but that's what I got finished. So that was good enough for me. And then day 16, I have another 2 just pieces here of collage. I kind of started hitting a wall with kind of just all of the little master boards, and so at that point I decided to pivot a little bit. And so I had a 6x6 paper pad that was technically not a scrap, but it was just kind of in with my scraps because it was a big bucket, and kind of I just throw everything in there. So I made some of these little pockets, and these I will decorate up, or finish decorating. I can use them in my journals or to send with Happy Mail when I send out my journals, that kind of thing. And so I just have these, and they're kind of dual pockets. So I actually got this idea from Margaret at 7 Plaza. If you're not following her, be sure to check her out. This is where I saw this idea to use up a 6x6 paper pad, which is great because I don't use that size very much anymore, but I do have several paper pads. So that was a good way to use up those. And then I created some pockets on day 18. Again, I just kind of needed to take a break a little bit from the collaging and stuff. And so these actually, I need to go back and glue down, but the way that they work is this is a pocket here, and then there's a pocket here, and then there's a little pocket on the back, or you can glue it down. Again, this is actually another idea from Margaret at 7 Plaza. These are just using old book pages, but they just make really interesting pockets. And then I just haven't glued any of it down because I was really just sort of focusing on the folding, and you can see I used all kinds of different, I have music paper, I have glossy like magazine paper, not magazines, but from just like books that kind of have a thicker paper to them. These are actually like index pages. And then my favorite ones are these beautiful maps, and I made kind of a ginormous one here, which is probably too big for the journals that I typically make, but I thought this might be fun to just send as Happy Mail. So again, a pocket here, a pocket there, and then a little tiny pocket on the back. And if I need to refold that, I can, but I just was having fun. If you watch my channel at all, you know I love making pockets for my journals. And so that's kind of what I did for that. Day 19, I was taking some of my, as I was going through all of these days, I ended up with a lot of glue pages left over. So I just went ahead and finished kind of gluing them down, and I cut some notches out, and I have some pockets ready to go, which is what I will use those for. And then I did some lengthwise and just made some tall, skinny tags. So that was just kind of a lot of folding and gluing on that day. And then day 20 was another day where I was inspired by Margaret, and she made these kind of tags that have a little pocket here as well. So I just folded a bunch of those, again, out of all of those glue papers because I didn't want all of that to go to waste, and then I can decorate those. and use them. And then day 21, I had some like scrapbook paper in my pile, and it's pretty thick, and so I wanted to be able to use it, and so I just kind of started cutting down some basic shapes. So I did some tags here, as you can see, and then I did some where they were like longer pages. These were from cutoffs from another project that I did. So these are actually going to be like little flip outs. So there's a little pocket here, and then this part will glue into a journal. So let me see if I can. So like if this is my journal page, I will kind of glue this, and then this part will flip, and there's a pocket in here. So I made several of these in kind of varying sizes and shapes, and just so that I can, so there's, again, there's a pocket here, and then, you know, depending on which side I want it on, I'll glue it down. But I just didn't want these big pieces to go to waste, and it's pretty heavy cardstock, so they're going to be good for those kind of flip out pockets. And just kind of did them in different sizes, and these were all, again, just things. They were 12 by 12 paper that I had cut down for another project, and this was what was left over, and so I was able to make all of those, and it's good heavy cardstock for those. So on day 22, I created some more. Again, this is just, these were some of the 6 by 6 leftovers that I had. Created this little pocket with this tall, skinny tag in it. And then this I'm going to turn into a pocket. And this was really just me sort of taking some of these pieces and really just making them into something else. So I will actually glue that down on a page as a pocket and as this one. And I think this is actually supposed to be on there, and it just came off. But anyway, and then here I did a piece down at the bottom, and then a little side tuck. This has kind of got a fold here, so I can glue this in or make a gusset, or, you know, there's just some variety of options there as well. But these will go in my journal. And then I made some others that will kind of wrap around the page and glue, so it'll be like a tuck spot on one side and then a pocket on the other, if that makes sense. So, and again, let me know if you would like to see some process videos on the decoration of some of these pages. You can see I have quite a stack of things. And hopefully this video isn't getting too long or boring, but I just kind of wanted to share, because I am, like I said, I am having to kind of pivot what I'm doing. And so on day 23, I really just kind of sat down and, again, was just kind of creating random things. It wasn't any one particular thing. So I created a little cluster here. I made this little tag that has a pocket on the front. I have this tag started, a pocket, another kind of pocket here and there, and then this is going to be the start of a cluster. I can use this on a pocket, or and then another pocket with like a little flip out section, and this one as well. These were just papers that I really loved, elements of them, but I didn't want, you know, I didn't have enough of it to create necessarily a big project with it, but I can use it as a tag, or I can use it as a tuck spot or a belly band, all kinds of those types of things. And then day 24 is another day where I would just kind of created little bits. So here's a little cluster that I started. Here's a pocket out of some matte paper, just a tiny little pocket that I love. I love this music paper, and it was really just a section across the top because it was a big sheet of music paper. So I just turned that into a little pocket, as well as this paper that I've just had in my stash for just ever. And then I created a little cluster here and another little tag and a couple other pockets on there. And so this is kind of where I was at in this space, in my headspace for day 25, was now I started kind of going through those bigger pieces of paper that weren't really like itty bitty type of scraps that you would collage down, but something that needed to be made into something. This was actually just in my scrap, and so I pulled it out so that I will do something with it. These were some 6 by 6 papers that I just cut into a tag shape. This was actually a journaling card that I cut into a tag shape. This is some leftover pattern paper. Created some tags out of some other pattern paper and a pocket of a long skinny tag. And then I have several of these. This was some paper that was left over from an ephemera book that I made. And so they were kind of big pieces of paper that I wanted to save. That's actually a leftover from Tim Holtz paper. This was just some craft cardstock that I have. So this will be really good. I just kind of cut it down already into a tag shape. that I can make some tags with. And then these are literally just strips, but my intention for these is to make them into belly bands. So I have several of these, and I kind of left them long, that way I can trim them down to the size of my journal when I'm ready for them. And then this was a bigger piece of paper. It had some writing and stuff on it that I didn't care for, so I just cut that down, and then now I've got a nice journaling spot that I can add to something. So again, I did the same thing basically for day 26. I was just kind of taking my pieces, breaking them down, making pockets. Here are just a bunch of neutral pockets that I can decorate. And then this is like my last remnant of one of my most favorite pieces of paper that I have ever owned. It sounds so strange, but for some reason I just loved this paper. It was like a 12 by 12 paper to start. I had several sheets of it, and this is basically all that's left, but I wanted to make that into a cute little tag. Then I had a paint chip, and I thought, well, let's make a tag out of that as well. And then again, this is some scrapbook paper that I loved the paper, but I kept struggling with, like, how do I use it? Because it's got a little bit of gloss on it and some raised areas, and I could never figure out a way to kind of use it. So I trimmed it down and made some tags. I can add a little focal point or a label or something, and then use this in kind of a grungy journal. So day 27, I was back to folding, and this was really, I had some papers that really weren't scraps, but I had pulled them out for another project and didn't use them, and so instead of putting them away, I just decided to make some pockets. So this has got a pocket up here at the top, it's got a pocket here, and then a pocket on the corner. And then depending on how you glue it down, you could make a pocket here or another pocket up at the top. And then I did that kind of same idea, but turned on its side for this pocket here. And then this was another kind of pocket where you take a big sheet of paper, this is a big dictionary paper, and fold it. So then you technically have two pockets here, and then a pocket here, and then when you glue it down, you'll have another pocket there. So that's what those are. And then here is where day 28, I have those same black and white papers. Again, these were cut-offs from another project, and so I just glued them down. There's a little pocket here. I forgot to put the notch there. And then a pocket up here at the top. And so you can kind of see here, there's a pocket that'll be side loading, and then the top. And then again, depending on how you glue it down, you can get even another pocket. And these are just neutral black and whites, but I feel like these would be fun with like a really brightly colored journal. So that's my intention for those. And then day 29 is, again, kind of just using up some of those pieces that all kind of coordinated with this. This will end up being a belly band or a side tuck, as will all of these. These are kind of the leftovers from this paper. This is from some 6x6 paper pads that I just wanted to create these beautiful tags. It just had beautiful collage on it already, and so I just felt like just adding a couple of things to it will make a beautiful tag for a journal. And then I have that same kind of idea with that pocket, but just in a bigger size, because this was a bigger sheet of paper. This is actually an old Felicity Jane paper. And then I had some other scraps left over, and so I decided to pull out some punches. And so I pulled out my tab punch and just created some ready-made tabs. I have a drawer for these that I keep. This is just a good way when you have little scraps. And then these can go on journals or on pockets or whatever. So I created a bunch of those on day 30. And then day 31, I had another, I have a label punch, and this is what the label ends up looking like. But these, I figured these would be good like on a tag, but also you can fold these in half and put them at the top of a tag, and they just make a cute decorative element. So you can see I did a ton of those, mostly with like book pages and thinner papers, because that way I can glue them down and they're not super thick. But that was really what I did for day 31. So you can kind of see I have a ton of stuff. I just feel like I have more than I can probably finish, given my 15-minute a day time frame. But I wanted to share, like, this was literally 15 minutes a day for 30 days. I managed to create all of these bases that I will now be decorating. So again, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing how I decorate these, or maybe another update partially, you know, maybe in another couple of weeks, or in another maybe 30 days or whatever, as I'm working my way through the 100-day project. Let me know down in the description. Let me know how many of these kind of types of videos you would like to see. Personally, I love watching people decorate ephemera, but I know that's not for everybody. So anyway, just put your thoughts down in the comments. And if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.